Good morning. Saturday, December 12th. No, dyslexic there. December 21st. Was I seeing the 21 backwards or was I seeing the 12? In the year 2024. Taking a look at my audio indicator and it says that my volume is good. And I'll come over here and pop out chat. I may be operating a little bit sluggish. Oh, yeah. I was going to pop out chat, and on the drop-down menu, well, I guess I can show you. Pause that. Need to click here, but I clicked here on timestamps. Because I am not operating at 100%. And that is all I have to say about that. Tim Cruz was first. Likes the intro, the trailer. Sam Lazar, hello. I've got emails from Sam Lazar that we'll dig into. Sam, before I forget about it, I'll ask you this. Whoops. Okay. Oh man, I gotta be so careful with buttons today because I'm not at 100%. There was something in the subject of one of yours said, do not edit in the subject line. I'm not sure if that was an instruction to me. Your emails have some phone number and stuff like that. So I'm assuming I should not be showing that stuff. So I will read those portions of the email. But if that do not edit was something else that I'm not quite registering, then let me know. Martin Hogg, Alice Jones. Hello. Martin says, Doug, how does an SSD retain its data when out of a PC? Do they have a small internal battery? See, I'm trying to figure out, was this? No, Martin's not all that. It's Brian that does the jokes. Sometimes Martin throws in a joke. I don't think this is a joke. How does an SSD retain its data when out of a PC? Do they have small internal battery? I don't think so, and I'm going to have to plead that I'm not 100% sure. They're storing information electronically. Although I think there's been some argument about this among YouTubers, and I haven't researched it, so I don't know for sure. Somebody else will come up with a more authoritative answer, I think, but I have heard from some that the SSD stays on a shelf too long, it could lose its integrity, and when it plugged into power, that it refreshes that, something along those lines. I don't know. Somebody else will come up with a more authoritative answer on that. Selden Ball, greetings with inch or two of snow on the ground. Danielle Emberley, getting cold here. Just hooked up the trickle charger to my car. I tend to not go out as much when it gets cold. Hot in Australia, yeah, because the sun's not here in the northern hemisphere anymore, so it's down there in the south hemisphere where Sam is. Danielle brought my electric snowblower in the house to change the scraper blade. Oh, I thought it was going to be to blow the snow that's been getting into your house through the leaky roof. Last time I did it in a cold garage. That sounds like a good idea. Just don't bring the car into the house to do an oil change. I think that's going a bit too far. Sam, I don't have Zoom anymore. I'm not doing Zoom. Well, let's see. You know what? For you, yeah, let's do Zoom. That would be good to have Zoom for you because of your specific issues. But I don't have it fired up yet because he's got some issues that I don't quite understand from the emails, and the emails are kind of long. So it'd be good to have him in to give a verbal. And my brain's just not working well enough to translate. And he says all good. I'm not sure whether he's saying all good towards about not having Zoom or saying that I'm going to fire it up for him to come in. Sam says, I can unexplain. Told you my brain isn't right there. I can unexplain my rate issue in my client's email issues. Yeah, I think that's good. I'd like to have you come in and do that because that means I can talk less. Jim may be late, but at least I know what the date is. DVR 1.5 engaged. Oh, it won't take him long to catch up. I've been there, done that. John Williams, cool, Madison, 6 degrees. Greg says, good afternoon. Just finished watching a portion of a 12-hour repair stream that raised 18,917 British pounds. Wow. Portion of what were they repairing, Greg? I kind of want to assume it was a computer, but maybe not. Zeman or hello, Jeff Ryman. As if he informed Sam, no Zoom in the new format, but I'm going to fire it up for him because that's a special case. And Israel, shortest day today. Oh, yeah, the winter solstice. It's actually a form of non-volatile. Non-volatile, really? Or is it non-volatile? Memory, similar to programmable read-only memory. Yeah, but even the BIOS, that's a programmable read-only memory right on a BIOS chip, isn't it? Well, no, it can be rewritten. That's too much for my head to work on right now. SSDs in any flash-based device are based on transistors. They need power to access and modify their data, but not to store it. Interesting. Based on transistors, they need power, but not to store it. Well, they have, I've seen educational content showing at a molecular level what is in SSDs and the particles. They're charged particles. How do any particles maintain a charge without any being refreshed at all? If a transistor could be turned on or off and then stay in that position when you turn the power off, that would be okay. But from the materials that I've seen about it, the actual it's not biological, whatever the atoms are that make up the charged particles, they're not actually transistors. They can function like transistors. Stop thinking about it, Doug. My brain just is not there. I don't mind if I do mind. I want Zoom for you, Sam, because I don't want to try to read and interpret your emails because my brain just is not functional. They were repairing consoles. That could be console TVs. That could be turntable stereos. That could be game consoles. Volable. No, I think volatile. V-O-L-A-T-L-E? No, V-O-L-I-T-L-E, I think. Sam, it's the longest day for him. Yeah, that would be. Because now, as the Earth is moving around the sun, the slant of the axis in relation to the sun is now causing our perception of the sun to be moving back towards the equator. They woke me up, but I stayed in bed. I turned over and continued sleeping. Unread server that is acting up. Some things will load and then not load. It keeps dropping in and out. What could be the issue? Yeah, I'm going to bring you into Zoom. You can go ahead into Zoom and wait there. It'll just automatically put you in the waiting room because I don't even have it launched yet. BIOS is actually more like EEPROM, electrically erasable, programmable, read-only. That's an oxymoron, isn't it? Erasable, read-only. Erasable, read-only. Yeah. Yeah, Sam doesn't watch the show much. So he wasn't up. He hasn't been up on this season of through most of December. I think this started early in December where we got the title Fixing LWTdb episode 27. Today's the 27th episode. Yeah, it must have started on about the 1st. Could have started in November for all I know. Volatile. Rand gives us the correct pronunciation. I am not in a waiting room, but I am waiting. All right. Oh, that's right. It doesn't put you in a waiting room. No, I have it set to go straight in. 6:09 where I am. Is that PM? Gaming consoles. Simple description of SSD transistor hardware design. All right, I'll have a look at that later. No audio from bot. Oh, really? That's right. I was going to check on that at one point and then got distracted. And okay. Speaker bot should work now. I'm testing it. You should be able to hear it.
Yes, affirmative.
All right. I'll go get Zoom fired up. If I can remember how to do it. Over there. And what screen is it going to come up on? All right. I see Sam. I'm going to fix my camera and fix my audio. And do this, and then hang on, and do that, and do, let's see, we got 2 columns, 1 row, and I've got to move him over onto that side. And why is my picture not shown up there? Did I get, oh, no, I got virtual camera. I got OBS virtual camera. Oh, that shows there.
Read chat, please.
Oh, I know. I'll get that fixed in just a moment. And I'll come to that read chat in just a moment. Why isn't it there? You've got 3 Sams on screen for the YouTube audience. Why is that not there? Ay, caramba.
Read chat, please.
Not a bad idea, Jim. I can't remember how to do that. Oh, I am not doing well, am I? It's probably under more. Host tools. That's it. Lock meeting. Okay, meeting is locked. But why can I not get Doug on there? Oh, is this maybe this virtual camera? No. He's going to see that. It's got to be over here on this. See, here's what happens when I'm out of practice. Okay, if I do this and scene and cam 1 is what I need to bring in. Cam 1. Let's see if that'll do it. And then if I bring that down like this, let's turn off host tools or participants. Bring this over here so that that goes out onto YouTube, showing the two of us. And now on Sam's second screen, he sees what I'm broadcasting, which is, it appears to be him and me. Now I'm going to check audio levels for you, Sam. Hello, Sam. I'm looking to see, I don't think you're going out over YouTube though, because I didn't see anything showing your audio. With the speaker, same as system, headphones, cable input. Sam, go ahead and say something again, please.
No way.
All right, tell me in chat, are you, let's see, no audio getting to YouTube. Selden Ball says no audio. My microphone's getting to YouTube, right? It's just Sam is not. Let's try this one. Say something, Sam. Did you say something? Oh, I can't hear you now. All right. Yeah. I have you back. Audio sources. Okay, so go into audio sources into here. My screen is black right now. I know I'm sending out black. Now that should do it. Now let's see if you come through. Say something again. Still not seeing. Going to look at this again. I know you're seeing a blank screen on YouTube. Zoom audio. It's there. Oh, that's why. Is because OBS lost its connection to Zoom meeting. Let's see how that does. And then punch back to this button. Okay, Sam, hello again.
Yep. Any better?
Yep, that works. That works.
Cool. Excellent. All
Although
right.
there's a little bit of distortion in your audio, but let's go ahead and see how we do. So, do you want to start with the
Yep.
your first topic?
I'll do the email one first. So I've got a client who got his email password. So we're trying to go through Microsoft Outlook recovery, the free email address. But the recovery email address is his old school email address. It's now defunct. So no longer. So that was out of the option. So
Okay.
what we attempted, yep.
Time. Your microphone sounds like you've got some kind of a sound filtering on it or something. It's really distorting your voice quite a bit.
Oh, okay. Let me switch to the built-in laptop mic. So the mic. Yep. How about now?
Go ahead and talk.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Better.
Cool. Okay. Not sure what my Sony headset's doing. Anyway, if I sound better, that's great. So as I was saying before, my client has a free Outlook email address. He's forgotten his password, so we try to recover it. It goes through the recovery process to an email address that's no longer active. It was an old school email address as his recovery. So what we did is went to the next stage, is recover by verifying last email sent, but it doesn't work with Microsoft. Just wondering what else we could do. I've tried contacting them, but they say try the recovery form.
And you gave me a lot of content here about the recovery form.
Yeah, that's from Microsoft. They forwarded me instructions on how to do it, which we've tried but failed.
Okay. It looks like all of that portion of the email is pretty generic. I was thinking of bringing
Exactly.
that up on screen. You blocked out
Sure.
some email address for the Outlook
No,
address.
that's Microsoft puts a generic guide, so that it's blocked out, whatever.
Oh, okay. Microsoft blocked that out. That wasn't yours. All right. So let's see here. And if anybody in chat has been through this, then go ahead and give us some information or even ask to come into Zoom. So to summarize, he's got an Outlook. Is it an Outlook.com address?
Correct. Yep. So
Yeah,
they're free email.
Outlook.com address. You called it free. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
free
please not
address. Fine. And he forgot his password for it. And the recovery on that account goes to an email address from school, which he no longer has access to.
Correct.
Right? Okay. And then if there's any other recovery methods, such as other devices or security questions, those have not worked. Were they even
Correct.
available? Were those options even available?
So there was no other devices other than that email address, but
All right.
for recovery, it asked us questions like, can you please type in your last email you sent, who to, and what the subject is. But it was very hard to remember all that, so we tried our best, but it kept on failing.
Oh, right. And he doesn't have access to that email account like on a
No,
cell phone or something.
not
Okay.
put he's left school, and when you leave school, they usually deactivate the account soon after you've left school. Was no longer needed.
Well, he's not trying to remember the emails he sent from the school account. That's a different email
Correct.
address, right? The school account is a backup email address. It's the Outlook address, isn't it?
Exactly.
It was the Outlook address that they're asking what was the last email that you sent, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Okay. And he can't remember that one.
Well, we've tried.
Tried,
four
but
boxes.
hasn't
failed.
been correct about it. All right.
Yep.
And so how long ago would that last email been? How long has this account been lost?
He lost access about a week ago.
Okay. All right.
It's not that long.
Do we know anything about how he lost access? Is this something that his computer?
I didn't get that far.
Okay.
But at one point he said, "Oh, I've been logged out of my account. I need to get access again." Try resetting it, then things happened.
All right. Was he using any kind of a password manager?
I don't think so, because he mentioned all his passwords were generic.
His passwords were generic.
His usual standard password, something that someone will remember in their head.
Okay, got it. But and it's not I'm guessing is it a matter that he forgot his password, or that he got locked out and now he has to authenticate some additional way than the password?
I did not get that far. When I asked him, he's not sure. He just wants to get back in and access his emails and Microsoft account.
I see. Okay. I haven't heard any chat or read chat for a while, so I'm going to go ahead and bring this form up. This account recovery form that comes from Microsoft has a whole lot of text in here that's really not formatted very attractively, which I started thinking, was this maybe from some other
It was from a technician at Microsoft.
Technician at Microsoft sent this.
Yeah,
So,
I messaged them,
yeah,
and then they said, "Oh, we can't reset the account, but we can send you a guide on how to do things."
okay. Yeah, so this looks like it's not a very well
Mm,
formatted thing, but that's okay. That's not a
exactly.
problem itself. Since you were in a chat with Microsoft. Now, how did you get
Yep.
into that chat with Microsoft? Are you
I
100%
used
sure it's Microsoft?
Yes, it was, but I used my personal
Okay.
Microsoft account.
Oh, all right.
And then I
Yeah.
said I'm messaging on a behalf of a client friend, and then they were helpful, or relatively helpful.
All right. So yeah, some things like here, your password is incorrect, period, T, period. There's a number of things in here that I saw, and I only looked at this a few minutes before showtime, where
That's all right.
there's some really, really obvious
Yeah, it could have been my spell
errors.
check when I sent it, scanned it, and sent it with something.
Okay. Scanned it and sent it.
So
How?
what my spell check does is when I send an email, it will actually scan it. If there's an error, it'll quickly fix it, then send it.
Hmm.
Not the world's best, but
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that's not what happened. I'm thinking these are probably from the original material, but I'm going to let go of
uh,
that because it sounds like
mm,
you're confident that it was actually Microsoft
yeah,
you're talking to. Now I haven't,
Microsoft.com.
yeah, I didn't read these out loud because I'm not about to do that. I'm just not,
That's all right. I've done
if
all
I,
this already through
yeah,
Microsoft websites. All of it looks the same as what I've done. So
yeah, mainly the reason why I'm showing this is just so that the audience can see
all good.
that you've
Thank you.
been through this.
Mm,
And maybe somebody in the audience has as well. It didn't work for them. Maybe they got somewhere else. I don't feel highly optimistic that this can be recovered, but
agreed.
we're taking a shot at it, and that's kind of what you've given us the chance to do
Mm,
is take a Hail Mary shot at it.
exactly.
Um,
Another thing to add is I messaged an old IT friend of my family, and he said if you can't get into the account, just start fresh and clean up the remains of other accounts by recovering or resetting them.
right,
Mm,
right. And so this is from Brian.
yep.
All right. So I still haven't heard any read chat, so I'm going to go look at chat, see if anybody's coming up with
Mm-hmm.
anything. So Outlook asked you who you had corresponded with. Yeah. Or
Yeah, Brian.
Microsoft. I went through this several months ago, but the client was able to provide me with the email address she would have sent mail to. Okay. Now that did kind of touch my mind a little bit
Mm,
about if he can think of somebody that he may have sent to that he can get in
yep.
contact with them and see what that email was.
Yeah, his brother. I think a colleague of his. He does
Yeah.
window cleaning. So
So he's already asked them what the last email is that they
yeah,
received
he
from
asked
him.
last, and yeah, and then they sent screenshots via WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger.
Okay, so
So
then you use that to be able to tell
yeah, but
Microsoft
it
what
keeps on
was sent.
failing. So
All
yeah.
right. All right. Again, this is the problem with email accounts. People will allow the browser to remember the password via cookies. Cookies will get reset. Wham, no access. Now we don't know. Sam doesn't know because he didn't do this interview question. He's telling us that the person remembers the password, so he's not using a password manager, but somehow he got locked out. Occasionally,
Yeah. Mm,
email providers will challenge you even if you got the password right, because a hacker can get the password right, and
exactly.
and then even if you don't have two-factor set up, I've seen
Mm,
where email providers will challenge a, a person to make sure they are valid. And in this case, the challenge was the old email address that he no longer has access to. And that was the
mm.
downfall here. Not so
Yeah,
much,
that's possible.
yeah, the downfall here was when Greg is saying people will allow the browser, the downfall here was people will neglect to update their security
Mm,
in their email accounts. And I think that's what's happened here. That, I mean, that's probably a fairly common thing that
Yeah.
happens. And a lot of people out there who are still successfully getting their emails and sending emails
Mm.
have not checked their security in their email account to see
Yep.
what their backup methods are. So we're talking to you
Yep.
now.
That's what's happened.
You viewer,
Mm.
you know who you are. You're the one that has not checked your backup methods on your email account. So go do it. Go do it. Not now. Go do it later. If you can expand, why was the password needed again? Did they try running near software for the password in Outlook? What I'm understanding at this point is it's not a matter of a forgotten password. Is that right?
Yeah, that's what I presume. I think Microsoft
Yeah.
has said, "Oh, you have to use recovery, but we want you to make sure it's active," and it's not.
Want to make sure it's actually you. Now, you haven't actually
Mm.
asked him if he's forgotten his password. Now, somehow,
Yep.
whatever the relationship is between you and the person, you haven't
Mm.
asked a few questions that we've asked about, but you know the person and perhaps feel it's not
Yep.
needed, or maybe
Yep.
if they're when you go back to them, say, okay, let's dig a little deeper. Help me understand more about this. Do you remember your password? How did this actually come up? Were you working on the computer and email in the morning, and then in the afternoon it challenged you and you have no idea
Mm.
why? It could be that there is a hacker or even a bot trying to get into your account. The hacker or the bot may actually know your password because you
Mm.
have fairly simple password and you're probably out there on the dark web already. You could do a search of his email address on
Yep.
one of
Mm.
the scanners and
Have
see
I
if,
been pwned?
yeah, have I been pwned?
Have I been?
Have you done
Mm.
that already yet?
No, I haven't, but I
Okay.
could.
So that could be work to digging up a deeper understanding of what's going on here. Now, a lot of times I've found many times in troubleshooting when I go this route, meaning digging deeper, getting a bigger understanding of it. Oh, I got somebody at the front door. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna take a look and see if that's delivered. Yeah, it's a delivery. Will they leave it? I don't see the person yet. All right, I'm gonna go check. Yeah. I was trying to find my Be Right Back into my intermission thing and couldn't find that button. All right. Yeah, so when I suggest to another technician asking these other questions, they'll say, well, why? What benefit does that do? Well, you don't know until you find something that does
Mm.
work or take you to something else. And I have had
Yep.
many times where I start digging deeper without any real optimism that this might solve it. And we do find a way to find a solution. It
Yep.
it is a desperate move, to be sure, but I've had many
Mm.
times where I'll pull off a miracle that way, because there was no reasonable reason to expect that path would lead to something, and it did. So I would encourage you to do some deeper digging with them, assuming that you want to go further with it and try to
Yep.
help them get this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always possible. So my clients tried various passwords, as he's mentioned, in messages, and over phone calls. They've all failed, and now Microsoft is redirecting to recovery by default. That recovery form.
Okay, so
Probably too many times wrong.
that
Mm.
comes off of what Zivi was asking there. There is no
Yep.
MFA from my understanding. Oh, that's from you.
Mm. Yep.
Okay. How did they usually access that email account? Through the web, Outlook app, phone, If the email were
Mm.
downloaded to a device, it might have the email he sent. Yeah, okay. So how was he accessing it? Through,
Yeah, I think Outlook for iOS on his iPhone, but when the account got locked, the actual app got locked. So it's not like some other IMAP client where you can still view downloaded content.
oh, the Outlook, the iPhone Outlook
App as well.
app got locked. He can't
Yes,
even read old emails.
correct. When he opened it, it's like asking him to authenticate.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mm.
Authenticate to the Outlook app.
With his email, make sure it's him, then he can get back into it as well.
Okay, so and that's, you said iPhone. So was he not
Yeah,
accessing that email account on a computer?
I think for the web browser, from my understanding, but I didn't get that far on how he views his emails. He was just
Yeah,
wanting
well,
to get the access.
yeah, that sounds like you should get a deeper understanding about
Mm.
the iPhone
Sure.
use and the computer use.
Cool. Yep.
Yeah. Let's go on here. This was a problem with my client. They had an old ISP email account that was deprecated. He may not be using Outlook as an email client, just the Outlook Hotmail service. Yeah, it sounds like possibly the iPhone and the web mail for Outlook, and it's a
Yeah.
free email account, so that kind of implies it's probably not paying for the desktop Outlook app.
Yeah. Because one of the questions Microsoft asked was, are you paying for any services through us? Is it Xbox or Office? And he said never paid for a service through Microsoft. So,
Okay. All right.
mm,
Brian's doing DVR 1.75. All right. Sin Vicious. I've checked and found passwords in browser settings in several different browsers. Again, I don't think it's a matter of a lost password. It's that Microsoft is challenging, are you really you?
yep,
So,
I think that's the case.
that's something you should drill down with him about the password. Is he at all in question that he remembers the correct password? From what you've said
Mm.
so far, my suspicion is that he knows his password because it's simple. But
Yeah.
that's based upon what you said, and admittedly,
Yep.
you haven't dug very deep.
Yeah.
And this is from you that you've checked, have I been pwned? And it's all clear for the client. So it's not out
Yep.
there it's probably not out there being used by automated bots. However, have I
Yep.
been pwned only knows about the breaches that they know about.
Yep.
There still can be breaches out there that they don't know about.
Mm.
So they don't have a Skype account with Microsoft. My client was able to provide that information to Microsoft. Yeah, so that's what Sam was just talking about, that they asked if he has any other services with them. Well, they asked if he has any paid services.
Yeah, so Microsoft asked about paid services. That was no. Any services, just email. Just an Outlook email address.
All right.
Mm.
And then you're saying Outlook for iOS.
Mm.
So that was a fairly good amount of interaction from chat. I do think that we've given you some extra
Yep.
ammunition as for an encouragement to dig deeper in understanding more about the situation.
Potentially. Mm.
And another angle that I'll make that same point is that sometimes with clients, when I go digging deeper, I trigger a memory in them about something that they had totally forgot about, and that could get you somewhere. I mean, you could even lead the person through some thought, memory regression, if you want to use a psychological or what's that other term where they put you under?
Memory? I'm not sure.
Hypnosis for memory regression. Just give me some names of people that you email with, or
Yep.
companies or things that you interact with on email. Just talk it through. Just word association kind of thing, and that is all throwing mud at the wall, Hail Marys and desperation techniques,
Yeah,
but they can work. And I've had them work many
potentially.
times.
Mm.
Yeah. Ran Israel Jedi mind trick. That's right. Martin says, I've occasionally got my customer to create a new Gmail account, which can be used to verify identity for receiving one-time passwords. Does he have any other currently active email accounts?
Yes, he does. Because in the form it asks, can you please type in another email address that is active and you or that person has access to? And he has a work email address, so with a custom domain. Then he also has a free Gmail account.
All right.
The Gmail's probably secondary email, probably for spam and whatnot.
I just have an idea floating in my head that is just new and
Sure.
original. If creating another Outlook.com email account and then get some people that he has interacted with before on the old email account to interact with him on this new Outlook.com email account. I don't know if Microsoft would look at this, but when they see that they like 6 to 12 people that were active with him on the old account is active with him on this new account, it seems to me that that would be kind of substantiation that this is the same person.
Potentially.
I've never heard of that approach working, but it sounds like you've had some. Am I right that you've had some back and forth interaction with this Brian
Correct.
technician?
That was messaging, for the live chat for about half an hour. Then he said, "Oh, we're ending the chat. I'm going to email to your Microsoft account, mine, the guide," which he did.
Okay. So, yeah, if you just have him create another Outlook.com account,
Maybe.
even with a very similar name, so it kind of looks like even though it would look like somebody's pretending to be him, but then if he sends and receives the emails to the same email addresses that he was active with, you could make the case to their technician that this is the same person.
Yeah, that's possible. But when I was messaging Microsoft and I asked them, "Can you recover the account?" I gave all the right info. They said, "No, you have to do the form. That's the only way. It's automated. We
Oh,
can't do it as a human."
all right. All right. So they can't
Yeah.
intervene as a human. How
Yep.
important is it to get this back? Is there crisis? Is
Seems
there critical?
it seems fairly important, but a lot of things are going to it, like banking, my friends, family, like everything's connected to it from the sounds of it.
All right.
Or everything important.
So, for instance, if he has access to his banking accounts that were based on the old email address, he's lost access to that. He's lost
Potentially.
access to all the accounts that he has that use that email address to interact with.
Potentially. So
Yeah, and you're saying potentially because you haven't dug that deep with him, so you don't really
correct,
know
yeah.
that about him. Now, those other like his bank accounts and such, if he is a person who is prone to using simple rememberable passwords, his other passwords may be rememberable too, but they might have two-factor set up, and so he still can't get into them. But again, that's another thing, you haven't dug deep enough with him to find out.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah. I suggest that you do dig in to find out, because I think it is helpful for you to understand the crisis level and to be able to relate that to other people. Look, this is why it's so desperate. Now, however, it's very understandable from Microsoft's position and all the email providers' position to say, hey, this is the way it's been for quite a long time. There are these recovery methods. There are these alternate addresses. It's your responsibility as an adult email interactor to do that. It's just like if you buy a car, you have to know to go get the oil changed. And if you don't do that, then maybe you shouldn't have a car. Now,
Yep.
it is justifiable that the email providers would take a hard line on that to make people do it. If there's no consequences, if
Yep.
you can always worm your way out of it, then people
Yep.
won't take it seriously and do it. So sometimes somebody pays the price and bites the bullet for hopefully other people to get their act together and take
Yep.
care of this stuff.
Mm.
I feel like we've run this down as far as we
Yep,
can.
exactly.
I don't know if we have much of a shot of dealing with your other issue. Do you want to bring it up?
Yeah, we can. So I've got an issue. So I've got an Unraid server. Unraid's effectively a NAS operating system. You run off a USB, which you plug into a compatible computer. And then I've got a whole bunch of hard drives. So I've got about 30 terabytes usable. I have backed up my storage, but the issue is that when I try to load certain services, sometimes it'll load, sometimes it won't. Like my media server, it's kind of hit and miss. I'm just wondering if I should back up everything, reset it, try and go to various Unraid groups and get that working, or maybe switch to Windows.
Well, let me start with the one
Sure.
thing you said there that just raised the hairs on the back of my neck. Do you think I should back it up? You always have to have backups if you care about the data. Having something.
Yes, which I've done.
Oh, you have done. So you
Yep.
have backups. Your question about backups wasn't saying
Back up all the
should I
data.
back it
Yep.
up? Yeah,
Yes.
RAID servers have to be backed up.
Mm.
It gets more challenging because of how much content you have on them.
16 terabytes.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a lot. Takes a
back
long
that
time
up.
to do a backup. So you have,
Oh,
do you have
over
a
a
backup?
network called.
Do you have a backup system that does incremental backups?
Nope. I just did a copy and paste, but I don't usually back it up. It's just a media server where I back up DVDs and Blu-rays and record our TV shows on
Yeah.
our antenna.
Well, sometimes somebody might have something on a
Mm.
RAID server or a NAS that
Yep.
they don't feel they need to have backed up. That's there on that NAS for convenience purposes. If they lose it all, it would be disappointing, but not a crisis like losing access to
Yeah,
a bank
that's me.
account.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay, that's
Yep.
you. All right. So just
Mm.
because you have a NAS or in this case an unraid server doesn't mean it has
Yep.
to be backed up. It depends upon how you feel about the crisis if you were to lose that.
It's just Blu-rays I've backed up and TV shows I've recorded.
All
So
right.
yes, it's more for convenience.
Convenience, yeah.
Mm.
So then I'm looking at the email to see if you covered everything that you sent here. Unraid server that is acting up from time to time English, please. From time to time, it will fail to load the admin page in my web browser, and services will not be able to load like Plex. And you mentioned that it's on an IP address 192.168.119, but
Yep.
1.20 loads. Since Plex only operates on .19, it still acts up. You have two network adapters in the computer.
Correct.
So one is configured with a static address of .19, the other is .20, and the Plex only operates on 19, and it's the one that's acting up, or no? You said the
So
admin
no,
page. Doesn't
yeah.
matter.
So 19. Yeah, whatever's on 19 from a network speed tester to whatever.
So it's the one that's on 19 that is the problem, and on 20 you
Yeah.
can get through?
Yeah, 20, whatever access on 20, if I change the IP to 20, it works, but that's a secondary IP. But Plex runs on 19, so when I try to access Plex for any of our devices like the TV, think of Netflix. If you're on content, it fails to load.
All right. How about, could there be a problem with that network adapter? Are they individually replaceable, or drivers for that network adapter?
Oh,
So what I've done is I went to settings and switched the IPs around. So the IP address for 20 became 19 and 19 became 20. So switched them around, then did a reboot and it's still acting up. So there's something else with unread.
Did the problem follow the .19 address?
Yep.
Okay. Could there be something else on your network that's conflicting with it? If you shut down that unraid server and then ping for .19, see if something else responds to the 19.
It becomes unreachable. Because on our network, 19 is reserved for that computer.
Okay, but have you tried that?
Yes, I have, and it came
All right.
unreachable when I
All
shut
right,
down.
unreachable. All right. All right, going to look in at chat and see if there's any reactions to that. And there's still some more coming in about the email, so we'll jump back to that topic. Did this client set up second email for recovery? No, we've covered that.
Only one email, which is gone.
The second email is the one that is no longer available because it was from school.
Yep.
Brand Israel, in other words, you're not paying a customer. Why are you bothering me? You're not. In other words, you're not a paying customer. Why are you bothering me? I'm not.
Free Microsoft account. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's saying that's from Microsoft, I guess. I was wondering if that comment is related to you helping this person. I'm kind of deducing you're helping this person on a personal credit rather than charging them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right.
He goes to the same gym where I go. His dad owns the gym where I go, so the gym owner's son.
Oh, all right. All right.
Read chat, please.
Meant to reflect Microsoft's attitude. Yeah. So Rand was referring to Microsoft's attitude. But I suspect even if they're a paying customer, Microsoft is still going to take the stance of you have to use the form. I don't know. Could that be different? Could that make a difference?
Potentially. Maybe they might escalate the issue further or get someone more senior.
Maybe. Well, if you're paying for Office, yeah, I don't know. I haven't gone through any Microsoft tech support. I pay for Office with a lot of my clients, or they do, but it's very rare. I mean, I do not recall ever a time for me trying to reach out to Microsoft tech support for an Office issue.
I did that as a last ditch effort, contact Microsoft. But I was at the point where I was going to suggest to my client, just set up a new email address or use another one and call it a day. But he really desperately wanted access, so I contacted Microsoft before telling him try a new email.
Now, I have in the past paid for Microsoft support. This was related to servers, a server. It was like $250 for the incident. And that was like, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago. And for that amount of money, they will stick with you until the issue is resolved. Now, I don't know if that kind of support is available for email accounts because that was a server environment. But if there was a way to pay for support from Microsoft, I wonder if they would have other ways of dealing with that. The techs that you're interacting with are the ones that their job is to interact with in a chat environment. Is that what it was, an online chat? Yeah.
Yeah, it's online chat. Phone calling got me nowhere.
They only know, or we can only count on them to know their job environment. I don't know if you just do some Google searching for paid Microsoft support, see what's available. Maybe there's something out there. I don't know. Most financial institutions do not require access to the old email to be able to change to a new primary email.
That is true.
Okay. So yeah, but that could be a lot of work to do, depending upon how much.
A lot of accounts. That's what it sounds like.
Is this
a lot of accounts?
Now you said the son of the gym owner. Is he a young person?
Yeah, a couple of years younger than me.
All right.
So 2 years younger than me.
All right. So he's probably doesn't have a whole lot of financial accounts out there.
Yeah.
So
There could be PayPal for all we know connected, so that would be hard to reset.
yeah. Exporting browser passwords to a file is not difficult. Actually, I exported all passwords. Yeah, I'm aware of that, but that's not the source of the trouble here.
No.
For the Unraid issue, have you looked at the logs?
No, I haven't looked at the logs yet. Yeah, have definitely not looked at the logs. So I should check that and potentially go to Unraid groups and see what people say about my issue.
Had looking at the logs not occurred to you yet?
No, I didn't do that yet. I thought maybe
Okay.
reach out, see what people say first before
I think
do
that makes
anything
a whole lot of
major.
sense there.
Mm.
Hotmail started billing me $1 a month. I just ignore for like 3 years now, never paid for an email account. That's curious.
I've never heard that.
Hotmail billing $1 a month. Huh. I have to wonder if that was a scam.
I presume so.
Yeah, because if you put out enough scam $1 a month bills, I mean, some people are just gonna $1 a month. They're not gonna check into it, or don't even know better to check into it. Well, all right. I think you've got the issues out for us. We've had some discussion of it. I'm sure more things are going to come up in chat. Maybe more things are going to come up on comments on this video. So you might want to check back for comments on the video.
Cool.
Now,
we'll do.
Comments that come in, you know that I don't know if you know this because you don't watch regularly, but I address comments that come in on videos during the live shows, and then send a reply to those to the people involved, but that doesn't get me replying to you. So if we get significant things coming up, what my intention is to copy that same link to you by email, because I can just reply to your email.
Great.
And that'll get you to that comment. Martin Hogg saying check reliability monitor. Well, that's a Windows. Does Unraid have that?
Let me just check my Unraid through the web browser.
Now, did you?
Settings.
Yeah. Did you say your Unraid is a device connected by USB to your Windows computer?
No. So how it works is it connects to a network over Ethernet. And then you log in via an IP, and it's like a network attached storage system.
Yeah. So what is the operating system?
It's Unraid.
It is Unraid. Okay.
That's
all right. Well, reliability monitor is essentially going to be comparable to
somewhere maybe
to logs. Windows. I'll bring that up as Windows key
system
on a Windows computer. If you press Windows key and type reliability, you got reliability history, and that's really useful for a Windows computer. And I get all of these errors because my capture card doesn't. My capture card is the one that causes those to happen, but I just ignore them.
Okay.
All right. So, well, thank you for bringing these two topics, and we'll see if that helps at all. Let us know if you get anywhere with what we suggested.
Will do.
All right. Catch you later. No, yeah, I'm not going to remove you, Sam. Why don't you just go ahead and exit the Zoom if you don't mind?
Yeah, cool. That's fine. I can leave. Yep.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Did I miss what kind of OS Sam running? It is Unraid. Unraid is the operating system on that device. Greg, multiple Hotmail accounts never got billed. I bet that is a scam up there for Sin Vicious. Hey, Sin Vicious, can you forward one of those to me? Can you get that one of those bills? I assume that comes by email. Could you forward that to me? I'd like to see it, if you don't mind. Yeah, all right. He says, sure. Why, sure. I can do that. Yeah, let's see. Oh, I've got a Amazon gift card to acknowledge. This Amazon gift card that came from, where is it? Does it show the name here? Once applied, yada, yada, yada. I think I have to go back to the listing here. It shows in the subject line. Oh, it's up at the top. The Roman goddess of agriculture sent you an Amazon gift card. I demonstrated to Ken Stout's Zoom homies that if a person wants to send an anonymous Amazon gift card, they can do that by temporarily changing their name, the name on their Amazon account. Amazon lets you do that. So you, in this case, he probably first name might have been Roman, last name might have been Goddess of Agriculture. That's a way to send an anonymous Amazon gift card. This one was $100. So awesome. Thank you. And we've got a video, I think, that it plays here. Oh, there's sound to it. That probably didn't play. I'm going to play the sound for you. Chrome browser audio turned on. And that's it. Then Chrome browser audio off and apply to your Amazon account. Take that off screen because I still am not quite sure what comes up next. Yeah, that's all good. This is what comes up next. Now my gift card balance is up to $200 because somebody else recently sent $100. You don't have $5, $10. Those are good. Those are good. You don't have to compete with these people with the deep pockets. Send me a copy. Thank you for the Amazon gift card. I wish let's see. I'm typing in a message here. Come on. I wish for you a most excellent harvest. There we go. And send. Take that off screen because I don't know what comes to next. Yeah, so I think I'm safe to show these. And then let's go to another little thing here I want to try doing. This has been on my mind recently to do. I have a label in my email list over here, my email labels. They're not folders, they're labels in Gmail. Amazon gift cards. And this is a way to continue acknowledging gift cards. Roman Goddess of Agriculture 100, Chris Garrett, a gift card. It doesn't quite, let's see, whatever name you want, Chris Garrett sent you an Amazon gift card. This was actually from Ken Stout. It wasn't from Chris Garrett, because that's when I was, that date, December 16th, is when I was showing the Zoom homies how to change your name on Amazon. Ken Stout with 100, Thomas Kalinda, Tony, Robert Kinder, Josh, Tony, Ken, Jesse, Tony, Oystein, Brian, Tony, Ken, Tony, Ken, Tony. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's a way to let your generosity show through the ages, not just when it's received. Then I was thinking, isn't there a place where I can similarly show super chats? That's probably on, let's see, when I come over here to my channel dashboard, just as a, oh, wow. This thing about having, not doing a show on Tuesdays and Thursdays, it used to be that I was pretty stable at around 28 new subscribers in the last 28 days. That has been going down during this fixing LWTdb time period. So that's got to get fixed. January 1st, I think I'll be showing a new show title and thumbnails and taking a new refreshed look at it. What else do we need to say here? I very much enjoy Ken Stout's thumbnail that shows the progress between his channel and my channel. People like to root for the underdog, right? So I'm the underdog now. If I come over here into earn, I bet that's where I can see super chats. And I do have topics to get to. Yeah. Let's see, then click see all. So this is a way to give people more time on recognition for their super chats. Do these show in date? Let's see, November 23rd, November 16th. Yeah, these are descending date order. So again, recognizing Tim Cruz, Abdul, Matthew Barnes, Frankie B, Trinidad, Frosty, Tim Cruz, Frosty, Tony, Tim Cruz, Frankie, Chris Garrett. Yeah, I'm not going to read through all of those, but I can bring them up on screen. It was just kind of floating around in my mind about giving people longer term recognition for their support. It's very, very much appreciated and is becoming more in my mind as a requirement that this YouTube gig, Doug's YouTube thing, needs to be providing some revenue. Oh, I thought I was going to be at the end. No, when I drag this down, it just refreshes and brings more in. All right, that's enough. Now, let's see. Oh yeah, about sending me the email. Sam Lazar gives a link to the Unraid so that you can understand what it is. It's an operating system for an external NAS. So that NAS is connected to the network. What is it about it that's external? I'm not a big NAS person, but network attached storage. This is a device that has its own operating system. It's attached to the network. Isn't the term NAS sufficient? What does the word external mean? I don't know. I don't get that. They are constant. He constantly gets them. Send me more than one. Send me maybe 2 or 3 of them because I'm suspecting they're coming from different addresses. Sam says his NAS is on his local network, my Unraid NAS. Where else would it be? Network attached store, where else would it be than your local network? There's something there that I'm not understanding. Unraid system is not free version. Sam should ask for a solution from Unraid support. Oh, no, that makes sense. Yeah, that means he's paying for it since there is no free version according to Savi. Sam says, I will check Unraid logs and send them to an online Unraid support group. Not too long ago, I upgraded my system to a new minor build. Oops. Does he ever learn? No. Also, I'm going to check for any more OS upgrades as there could be a bug I got with the current upgrade. Oh, so maybe that the problem has occurred only since this last minor build. The only upgrade path is to a beta build, which I do not want to do. Agreed with that. Have no fear. Underdog is here. Underdog is here. Should it be underdog or should it be underdog? Remember the goal of 1 million subscribers. Absolutely. That is still the objective. That's still the goal. That is still the mission. Yeah. 1 million subscribers or die trying. That means I will be successful. There's no 2 ways about it. I will either reach 1 million subscribers or I will die trying. As long as I don't quit. If I quit, then I failed to. But as long as I keep my channel going, even while I'm in the assisted living room. I can still have a laptop with a camera and still do the show. I'm sorry if that was insensitive to people who were dealing with assisted living issues. Did not mean that. My NAS is on my local network, my unraid NAS. It is only on my local network. So it seems like the word external would mean it's accessible from external. The word external, I would think it would imply there's a external access. What does the word external mean? Paid for a license. He's going to contact unraid support. Good. Darkreading.com. I'm going to take that off screen. I trust Jim, but I'm taking it off screen anyway, just out of good habit. Dark Reading. Lockbit ransomware developer arrested in Israel. Dual Russian-Israeli national Rostislav Panev was arrested last August, facing extradition to the U.S. for playing a critical role in Lockbit's RAS activities, dating back to the ransomware gang's origins. Not sure why Jim is giving us this, but just an interesting story maybe. It needs a computer with its own operating system to be able to access the NAS. My NAS is in another room in the house. Is that your explanation why the word external applies? Like there's an internal form of NAS that doesn't need a computer to access it. Maybe a television can access it directly. Yes, that's what he was explaining, what the term external means, that it has to be, the only thing you can do with it, the only way you can interact with it is from a computer. You can't interact with it from its own desktop to like play a video from its own desktop, or can a television set access that NAS directly? An internal NAS would be a DAS, direct attached storage. Well, again, that takes me
Read
back
chat, please.
to why refer to it as an external NAS? Doesn't NAS always mean external then? Probably meant to clarify is that it's a device external to the computer, not an app running under Windows. Well, network attached storage is that. Network attached storage is external to the computer. I think we need to let that go. I don't think the word external is needed in relation to a NAS. I don't see anything there that it's an indication that he needs it. I'm guessing it's habit. I'm guessing it's habit. I spent a little time looking at this TP-Link ban issue, proposed TP-Link ban. And if Tim Sal's watching, it is TP-Link they're proposed to ban it, not D-Link. But it's a political, I think it's just politics. There is a TP-Link issue, yes, but using government to make a ban on it, you're gonna what are you gonna ban? All the vulnerabilities that are out there are then gonna have to be banned. You can't ban computer equipment because it has a vulnerability. But I think it's a political strike against China, which I understand that, but it's political. Because a device has vulnerability, because it's manufactured in China, because it has large market share, I don't think it's right to be banning it. I think they're just trying to get political mileage out of it. Yeah, new sales or imports, but the same argument. Same argument. I use TP-Link at Holiday Home. Now, just very briefly, what it is, the TP-Link, it's not giving the criminals access to your internal network. It's that they can use your TP-Link router to send out password flooding. I'm missing the word. Attempts to break into other accounts, not in your network, but out trying to break into other accounts, and it's a botnet. It's like a botnet. And there's lots of them out there. So because there's entities using TP-Link routers for that, because they have this vulnerability, that's overreaching. I won't go into that more unless you are interested in it, but normally I'm not interested in news stuff. I know I have other things to go to. Oh yes, let's go to channel comments. We got more from Pineapple Road. One day ago, he's got a lot of bases covered here. We've been talking on this topic for a few episodes now about his Samsung ARM64 laptop. I had to look at the order history. The Samsung ARM64 laptop was purchased August 2022, so a couple of years ago, a little over 2 years ago. Back then, I did try and get some sort of recovery media prepared for it when it was new to them. He tried to get some recovery media prepared for it because we were questioning, was it a misstep on his part to not do that or not create an image backup when he first got it before he started working with it. But at the time, I was not able to find any image backup software that worked on ARM64 devices. And even the create a recovery drive option in Windows was useless. It kept failing with an error. So, hey, all right, credit Pineapple Road or Redemption. You did your due diligence with it, trying to get yourself covered at the beginning. And the laptop did not come with any OEM tools loaded to allow USB recovery media to be created. So up until Microsoft made ARM64 ISOs available, the only option to recover it was to use the OEM recovery partition. And at one point, so it's a separate partition. And at one point when I had to restore the system from that recovery partition, I discovered that Windows started failing to install updates. And I think I ended up enrolling it in the Insiders program just to get around that issue, even though it meant that without an ISO, the only way to remove the system from the Insiders program was to use that recovery partition again. Now, the only way you can get out of the Insiders program is to reinstall Windows from scratch. You cannot exit the Insiders program once you're in it, unless you do the nuclear option. So, man, since he started telling us about this experience, we've learned more and more and more about what he's done to try to prevent the predicament that he has now. The predicament that he has now, I'm even questioning whether it is still a predicament or did he get around it at this point. I don't think he's got around it yet. The problem is that recovery partition is gone. When he goes to do a fresh install of Windows, he has to be able to inject drivers for the keyboard and the touchpad and the USB ports because none of those work. This is an ARM64 from Samsung, so it's a fairly new product. I don't think Samsung had ARM64 for much prior to this laptop. I don't know that. I'm not much interested in ARM64, so I don't know a lot of the history. But it sounds like it was not really up to snuff with today's methods. But that was 2 years ago. So, but I think what it is when he tries to install Windows with basic Microsoft ARM64 or media, the keyboard won't work, the touchpad won't work, the USB ports won't work. So, which means he has no keyboard or mouse. He cannot even select to install drivers, because even with a wired keyboard plugged into the Type A USB 2.0 port, the keyboard doesn't work, the mouse doesn't work. I think I'm saying that right. Now, he has an ISO where he has injected the drivers. And I don't recollect, I don't think I recollect correctly right now where he's at with that. Is that working? Did you get Windows installed on that? It's Windows 11 he's dealing with. It's Windows 11 Home. And did I read through all of that? Yeah, I did. So anyway, there's some things that he clarified there about how old it was. Now, what he hasn't told us yet is what is the mission of this laptop? Is it currently just sitting in your lab to tinker with as a spare time project computer? Are you under a deadline to get it back into the user's hands to be a functional computer? He's already told us that the company does not intend to buy any more ARM64 computers. Failed experiment, I'm deducing. So, is there a need to get this computer back up and running, or is it just a project? And totally acceptable if it's a project. I mean, it's still interesting. It's still tech. Still Windows. Sam's checking for updates on his TP-Link up router. There is an update. Now you might have to do some research to make sure that update plugs that vulnerability, but I think it does. The news articles about it where they're quoting from TP-Link, they only give this standardized paragraph that TP-Link cares and adheres to standards, and it doesn't actually say something about updates, but it implies. So I'm suspecting that an update to the router does plug that vulnerability. You'd have to go research what that vulnerability is and see how to identify that is plugged. Doing the update remotely from Melbourne. All right, here's Doug again. Wait, what do you mean remotely from Melbourne? So he's in Melbourne. He's updating the router remotely. Well, from his computer, he's connected to the router, which is on his local area network? Or is it in another town or another country? Doug, why do you get so picky? I'm doing the update from the Android app. Oh, that's what he meant by remotely. Android app on his cell phone. Any luck with that lost Outlook email, Sam? Well, not yet. We just talked about that today. I think it's too soon to be asking him on that. Oh, and he does respond. I've sent a message to my client for an update. Also gave him a link for this live stream. Oh, awesome. All right. It's 7:22 a.m. on Sunday where he is. Who was, let's see, he's from Melbourne. Somebody else at the beginning gave a time where they were at that I thought was evening. Or was it morning then? Was it Sam? I don't really. Oh, there it is. 6:09. So I was thinking it was PM, but he's saying it's AM. All right. I got that wrong. Now it's 7:22 on Sunday. He's in the future. Sam was seen on my channel this morning from the future, a time traveler. The TP-Link issue that I saw was not on the name-branded routers. It appeared to be sub-brands of the parent company. I didn't come across that in any of the literature I looked at. Do you have a link for that, Phil? If you know, don't strain yourself trying to find it if you can't, but I'd be interested in that. Usually I'm not interested in following those subjects, but I'm doing a little bit on that one, I guess. Doing an update on Android. Craig to Frosty. Nope. Regarding Outlook, maybe SOL. Oh, was that a... No. Frosty was asking the question to Sam, not to Greg. Greg seems to be replying to Frosty. I'm not going to track that down because I have other things to get to. If no USB access, maybe there's PS2 access for keyboard and mouse. Oh, yeah, I highly doubt that on a, that was that Samsung 2-year-old laptop. Highly doubt that. With ARM processor. I'm in Melbourne. My holiday home is about 1.5 hours away from my house. Oh, maybe that's what the remote is. He's in Melbourne. The holiday home is where the router is. Doctor Who. I don't know what that references to. Okay. See my missing AliExpress order over there. In that Uni says has been out for delivery 4 days. Okay, that's between the two of them. All right, let me go on to a next comment. Pineapple Road doesn't catch all of the videos, so he usually does. You know what? If I leave that sitting long enough, he'll reply again, and that's how I know that he's seen it. So I don't send him a timestamp. Matthew Barnes from the Wednesday episode. The one thing about security that sucks, it often locks out the very person who put it in place. Example, you ever lock keys in your car? It did its job. I had a little scare yesterday. The power went out yesterday. I told you about that on Friday's show. I was going to leave the house. I went out into the garage and pulled the cord so that I could lift the garage door up manually because the power was out. And it didn't seem to release. I couldn't lift the door. I have since found I just didn't put enough back into it. Just need to lift harder. My recollection was it was fairly balanced, but no, it's a heavy lift. So anyways, in the garage, and I couldn't get the door up. And then I realized I was in the garage with my phone and the door to get back into the house was locked. And I just had a flash. Do I have my keys? And the answer was yes, because my door, I have to lock it with the key from the outside. But I was scared for a moment. Could I possibly get locked in my garage without my phone, without a key, with no way to get out? Well, that's not quite true either, because the door that goes out to the backyard, it's all latches from the inside of the garage. I don't have to use a key from the garage. But to get into the house, I have to use a deadbolt key, which makes sense. Why would you put a hand twist lock on the door that takes you into your house? No, you can't do that. But anyway, yeah, it can lock out the person who put the security in place if they didn't do it correctly. You have to know how to do it correctly. And you can have that. That's why we have recovery methods. We have recovery email addresses. We have security questions. And you got to have notes of that somewhere that you know where you wrote that down for your security questions, maybe a PIN number. There are ways to get around it. And, but you also have to think if your methods of getting around it have to do with like a cell phone, getting text messages, or getting an email confirmation, and maybe you've got your secret
Read chat please.
your secret words stored in your phone. If all of those are dependent upon your cell phone and you don't have any way to accomplish that when your computer's not working or when your computer won't let you into the account, then you could still have a problem even if you have all those backup methods in place. So I will send Matthew Barnes a link unless he's here today. How long was the power outage? The power went out, I think it was around 7:45 a.m. and I got a text message from my security system. No, the first text message I had was from PG&E saying they expected that the power would be back on about 10 a.m. So I thought I wasn't going to be able to do a show. So my plan was to leave and go do an errand during that time and let Ken Stout know that I wasn't going to be able to do a show. And then when my cell phone got to a place where I had better signal, I thought I might do a live stream from my cell phone out on remote, right? So there were those options in mind. I wound up using my cell phone to put in a message in chat for Ken. But by the time he responded to the message, like 2 minutes after I put in the chat room message, the power came back on at about 15 minutes before showtime. Oh, Doctor Who is a well-known time traveler. I don't think I ever got in. I just never really resonated with the Doctor Who series. I enjoyed time travel shows a lot, but in Doctor Who, I never really got into that. I can get PS2 on a modern computer via USB adapter, so I definitely need USB support. You can still buy computers with PS2. There are environments where PS2 is still in use. The update has completed. Got my fiber optic restored yesterday. Yay! Chris Garrett. All right. Awesome. Awesome. He's been without fiber optic for a few months due to a hurricane, some major weather event. Maybe he'll tell us what that, it's one of those named events. Matt Brown did a video on the TP-Link vulnerability on YouTube. I looked at a couple of those. Some of them just totally fell in line with the media, the mass media, the major media. They're twisting it. I went and actually looked at the Microsoft report that they all were quoting. The Microsoft report only made a mention in passing about TP-Link once in that whole report. Microsoft's recommended actions had nothing to do with TP-Link at all. Yes, Microsoft was showing vulnerability was in TP-Link routers, among others. They weren't the only one, but they were the only one that the report mentioned. Microsoft's recommended actions had nothing to do with forcing any action on TP-Link, but you would not know that from reading the headlines or even the articles. Oh, I totally did that wrong. Oh, well. Solution for Pineapple Road. ARM install recovery media for Galaxy Book. That was Samsung Galaxy Book, right? Unfortunately, we have no support if things go wrong for Samsung ARM laptops. I have created some resources for Galaxy Book Go. I don't think this one is a Galaxy Book Go. Not sure. With the help of other users, I have made ISOs for Galaxy Book X, S, English, please. Galaxy Book Go, Wi-Fi cellular. These images can be used to reinstall on the laptops or to, in the case of the Go, completely restore to factory Windows. Very good. Very good. So let's include that in my response. Zvi Manor, because I don't know if Pineapple Road will watch the rest of the video beyond that.
Read chat, please.
I'll get to that in just a moment. So I'm going to say Zvi Manor provided this and give that link. And then I'm just going to let that sit there until I can give him the link from this time in the video. He says, open the first link. Oh, the first link that's on that. This one. Download the disk image of Windows 11 Pro. He's using Windows 11 Home or the full Samsung recovery That's the one. It's the recovery for the book Go. I'm going to open that in a new tab. Oh, Windows 11 Home. Windows 11 Home among that. Awesome. Okay, so I got that copied, and this link. You know what? What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put that in reply, and then I'm going to give him another reply with the timestamp to where I started. Oh, there. Because this will stay on my screen available for me to do another reply. Very good. Awesome. See the first link. Oh, yeah, I didn't. If I would have read far enough, sure. Well, I guess I'm not sure, but Zvi would have been within his rights to be yelling at the screen, read the whole thing, Doug. Read the whole thing. Sorry if I just blasted your speakers out. Sam, my server has PS2. Some houses in the carport had a button that let the door up. It looked just like a doorbell button. Oh, that's not very secure. Hurricane Helene, not Helen, Helene. It's when hell leans. Picture this fiery furnace place. That's hell, and it leans. That's Hurricane Helene. It may still work with the Samsung. Yeah, I think those images could still work with the computer, even if it's not quite the right model. Then probably just update drivers correctly. Phil, I agree with your view on the sensationalist. I agree with your view on the sensationalism. Good Dougie. YouTube broadcasts. What I liked about this fellow's approach was that he showed you the process involved. Okay, Matt Brown. Okay, I bet I can just highlight that whole thing. Oh, my Zoom meeting ended. What? I still have a paid version. I didn't. Oh, it ended because there was no activity. after 40 minutes. It's just a Google search. Yeah. Let's see if this doesn't confirm Matt Brown. There's Matt Brown. So I don't think this first one will be Matt Brown. Nope, flashback team. And then this one, Matt Brown. At the TP-Link camera hacking. This isn't a camera hacking issue. This might not be the right one. 2 weeks ago. Persistent shells. SSL decryption. That doesn't sound like the same thing. I can bring up that article. Let's go. Not the article, the Microsoft document. The Microsoft report that the news media tells about. When I do a Control F TP-link, there's only one mention of it in this whole thing. Microsoft tracks a network of compromised small office, home office routers as covert 1658 Soho routers manufactured by TP-Link make up most of this network, not all of it. But this is the only one that's named in the Microsoft report, and they give lots of information about what it is. It's not compromising your internal network. If you have a TP-Link router, they're using it for password spraying, I think it was called. Recommendations: educate users, credential hygiene, multi-factor, transitioning passwordless, remote desktop. There's nothing in here about banning TP-Link. Was there even anything in here about update? We've updated this list of user agent strings. No, in the recommendations for what activity to take, did not include updating your router firmware. All right, so I'll put that into chat. Matt Brown's YouTube about TP-Link. Yeah, U.S. government to ban. It's proposed. It's not they're going to. This is a clickbait title. U.S. government to ban. No, there's some people wanting to do that. I don't think it's a done deal. Unless I've missed that. Live hacking of a Chinese Wi-Fi router. Now, one thing that did come up in my research on that was about China trying to put out old equipment into the marketplace. That laptop that had the old processor that's not actually Windows 11 qualified, it was from China. And that raised my scrutiny of these computers that I'm looking at for purchase. And I will be going back and running the Windows health check app on these B-Link computers and the other mini computers to make sure they're good. I'll watch that video. I'm not saying that is clickbait titles are useful, so I'm not going to give him too much ding for that. It's making it sound like it's a done deal. It's over 200 miles where the storm came onto land. They considered it a hurricane because 140-mile-an-hour winds were over that. It was pretty rough. Here are things blowing around outside. Yeah, they'd be blowing. If they ever say another one is coming, I will probably have panic attacks, not just because of the internet, just the winds, for no lights for a week and a half, etc. Would you leave? Would you evacuate before they're telling people to evacuate. I would also check out why not Windows 11, a Windows 11 compatibility checker. Is there anything advantageous about that over the Microsoft Health Check? Yeah, I'm not eager about doing something on GitHub unless there's really a strong reason for doing it. But the Microsoft Health Check will do the job. Why do we need anything else? Portable, much smaller and faster. I don't have any problem with how long that took. Now, Baby Beast has news. News event from Baby Beast. Straight from the Baby Beast desk. What do you see there? I will give you a little bit of time to see what news Baby Beast has. I'm displaying it on screen right now. If you know the telltale sign, you will be able to tell me in chat what the Baby Beast news is. Oh, Gary's giving us from the
Read
U.S.
chat, please.
House of Representatives. I see that. All right, so I've had this on screen for a little bit. You can duplicate it to another tab and pause it if you want to look more around more. No, it's not the snow. There's some other piece of Baby Beast news. It's pretty tiny, but if you know what we're interested in looking for on Baby Beast, on all of my computers, then you might recognize that. So I'm going to take that off screen and go look at this Gary's report here. Let's see. Chris says, I'm not sure I would leave or not. Not without Max. He would have to. Absolutely, Max would have to go. Motels may allow pets during storms. There's some motels that allow pets normally. BCom N95 100 are Windows 11 supported. Yeah, I know they are supported, but could they slip in an old? It's when I buy them, I'm always seeing a generation. I'll say the generation on the Amazon page. So, but could they slip in? I don't think there are. I don't think B95 and N100 existed before Windows 11. Back then, that level of processor, the only thing I know it was called was Celeron. Call for investigation. Yeah, it's an investigation. It's not right to say they are going to ban them. It's an investigation. Well, that's August. Where are we at now? Well, wait a minute. Doug, Congressional Committee calls for an investigation in August of 2024. There's no way there is much progress on that. It was a call for an investigation, August 2024. It's not U.S. is going to ban. That's not a good. Oh, Gary, that might be true. That rings familiar. Doug, you mistook a Gen 5 processor for N5105. Now, I had no consciousness that it was a Generation 5. I do recollect seeing N5105 and wondering, what the heck is that? Because I'm used to seeing N95, I'm used to seeing N100. And I've always wondered, were they leaving off some digits? Was N95, is that a shorthand? Is there technically some other digits before the 95? Phil says he made the same error. And then I thought, is it 105? Is it higher than the 100? Is the N100 actually N5100? Is the N95 actually N5095? I don't know. The link is the list of all Windows 11 supported Intel processors. So if I do a search here for 95, i9500, that's not an N95. This is a 9th gen, and whatever the 500 is means. So I should search N95. 1. N95. So all N95s are good. That's what I get out of that. So N95s, N100s, any of these Ns, they are all Windows 11 good to go. That's what I'm taking from that. I'm also taking from that there are no digits left out of that. But that N5105.
Oh, well, it is. You're winning, yes, affirmative.
Wow. Atlas V says at last. At last, I got it. I get it. N5105, Celeron. Oh, wait a minute. The N5105 is qualified. What? Isn't that the one that just reported not? Oh, is it 5905? What was that one anyway? 5005, is that the one I was working with? Z gives me 5005. Yeah, it's not in the list. If that's the one that I was working, that one was an i3. That's right. It was an i3. And it was, wasn't it? It was i3 5005U. So it didn't even have the letter N in it. That's right. That's right. I'd try why not Windows. Means I gotta go find it, download it, run it. Is it really quicker if you have to download it and run it rather than what's already available straight through Windows? Yeah, I might. Did he give me? Let's see. What is this? What was this one? Oh, this was the processor list, I guess. Oh, this is more about N5105. I don't know why we're talking about that one. That wasn't the laptop. You mistook Gen 5 processor for N5105. I don't see that. What happened is it was i3, and then it had a generation number that began with a 5, and I think it had 5, I don't know, 095 or 105 or something like that. It didn't have an N in it. But I was going through pretty quickly. I thought all of these computers that were turning up in my search were the N95, N100 laptops, and they weren't. And I just did not think it through well enough. Secure boot is a requirement to install Windows 11, any edition, but you don't have to leave it on. So I didn't see anybody come up with an explanation of what the news is on Baby Beast. Hint. Requirement for Windows 11 24H2. You can upgrade. You can update to. You should be able to update to 24H2 without having Secure Boot turned on. I have not tested it. N5905A is Windows 11 compliant. Yeah, that's not the laptop that I was dealing with. It was an i3. The processor was 5005U. Yeah, so not an N at all. Oh, it's close to quitting time. He accesses Plex from Windows, Android TV, Mac OS, and Android. I messaged Microsoft Australia chat. I go nowhere other than to try the recovery process again. And Zavi confirmed that he went back on that video and checked. CyberGeek, for my CyberGeek. Oh, John Williams has an N5905A. Not just 12th gen. There's a few different generations that have the N100, N95, and I know they're low end processors. Yeah, that's what's been on these inexpensive mini computers and laptops. The all-in-one computer I have it's either N100 or N95. Same with the laptop that I have, and I have three, count them, three mini computers now that I own for my own lab purposes. There is an N200. I saw that. I don't know about 150. All right. So I gotta do the reveal. Baby Beast, the thing you should have noticed is this blue dot down here at the bottom. Let's see. I think I've got that thing there, and I had another thing to highlight that blue dot right there. Do you know what that means? What does that blue dot mean on that refresh arrows? Windows 11 build upgrade. Yeah. So that means 24H2 is being offered to Baby Beast, and it was offered to the all-in-one. These both happened yesterday, or the blue dot showed up. The all-in-one, I did the Ping D all-in-one. I installed 24H2 this morning. I haven't looked at it yet to verify that it did complete. It's available now on Baby Beast. The laptop, it's still not available. It hasn't been offered to that laptop yet. So let's see, did I close down everything else?
Read chat, please.
I'll go ahead and start that while the stream's running. I'm not going to finish it. Read chat, please. My post from 1246, ran Israel. Help to look at the name, Doug. Oh, yeah, he did. He did guess it. All right. Well done. Well done. And John got that. Lots of reboots with 24H2. Oh, yes, that the all-in-one might be prompting for more reboots, because I started it did the download, installing, and then prompted for a reboot. I clicked to reboot, and I haven't been back to that computer since then. Well, that's Phil. I have that similar issue with our parent company. Okay, so not calling Microsoft, trying to get tech support from some software. It's his parent company. All of the support assistants are reading from a script. All of the experienced technicians are all retired or moved up in the company. All right, so let's start this. Check for updates. And yeah, somebody mentioned recently that they didn't think they were having to click to install these feature updates. But now what it's done is it's installed the Defender antivirus update. Now I have to click again to actually download and install the 24H2. Get updates as soon as they're available. No, I do not like that. I do not want that, Sam. I am. I want to let the rest of you guinea pigs out there figure it all out. Yeah, so that's downloading. By the time you see Baby Beast again, it will have 24H2, but I'm not going to let you hang out and watch that. It takes too long. Apparently there is an N200, but never personally encountered. Yeah, I can, I've seen them among Amazon listings, I believe. Yeah, N200 at $230, N200 at $450. Was that one? Yeah, N200. Yeah, they're available. They've been available for some amount of time. All right, that's it. Let's get out of here. I got to find, there's that button. That button works. And then there's an email address. If you want to send me an email about an issue that you have that that I can respond to and the chat room can respond to, that's why this channel is here. You can send an email with that, or you can tell a story about some success or even failure that you recently had dealing with Windows computers. You can put a comment on any of my videos. You can ask a question in the chat room. All right. Have a great weekend, everybody. I will catch you later. Goodbye.